Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our beginning hymn, Love Will Guide Us.
Good morning. My name is Barbara, and our invitation to worship reading is by Reverend Dr. David Breeden, A Theology of Welcome. Let's be the welcome we crave, open arms outstretched. Let's embody radical welcome, unquestioning love. Let's be the welcome we crave, deeply hearing voices and hearts. Let's be the welcome we crave, enriching understanding. Let us embody the community we crave. Blessed be. And now, as Reverend Sarah lights our chalice, please join me in reciting our chalice lighting words. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. As I said, my name is Barbara. I use the pronouns she, her, and I'm honored to be this morning's worship associate. To welcome you to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone who is present with us today, including those of you in person, as well as those of you who are viewing online. In Unitarian Universalism, know that you can bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, your expansive heart. Together, we create a force more powerful than one person or one belief system. As Unitarian Universalists, we do not have to check our personal background and beliefs at the door. We join together on a journey that honors everywhere we've been before. We're honored you're here to worship with us today and welcome you respecting your age and able-bodiedness, your spiritual beliefs, your religious background, your family, economic status, and political affiliation. We respect your way of loving. Wherever you are on your life's journey, we welcome you to this place of connection and community. For those of you who are visiting Valley UU today, we invite you to raise your hand or stand so that we can greet you. Oh. welcome. And for those of you attending in person and wanting to know more about Unitarian Universalism and Valley UU, a welcome circle will form in the sanctuary after the service, or maybe outside if it's not too hot. So get a beverage and look for the welcome circle sign and join the discussion, or just stay and chat. If you're visiting online and want to chat with others, we will open a Zoom room after the service. Today we're wishing our Jewish brothers and sisters Shana Tova, or good and sweet year to you. Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, begins this evening. I baked a honey cake. If you have something in your heart that you'd like to share with someone, a trained pastoral care associate will be available after the service, both in person and online. Our pastoral care associate in person today is Carlin Knight. There she is. Hi, Carlin. She'll be waiting at the very front of this sanctuary on your right immediately following the service. Melissa Bush is online via YouTube during this service and will be available on Zoom in a private breakout room following the service. Lay pastoral care associates are also always available via email at pastoralcare@vuu.org. Our settled minister, the Reverend Sarah Oglesby-Dunegan, is in the pulpit today. Her topic is Spirals of Love and Connection, Chosen Family and Created Community. She will explore how we can create the support, love, and connection we need when we reframe what family, friendship, and community can look like, and when we're willing to show up for each other and do the necessary work of tending relationships and ourselves. Now, our music associate, Noell Hyman, will lead us in our, well, not opening hymn, but second opening hymn.
Do we have a mic? Oh, good. All right, please rise in body or spirit. We'll sing Blue Boat Home.
I've Good morning. I am Marcy Bodrin. I'm your Director of Faith Formation Ministry. I use she, her pronouns. Now is the time to invite all of the children forward for our Time for All Ages. And today I'm going to ask some more teachers to introduce themselves to you. So let's give a minute for all of our kids, whoever's here today, to come on up. I think you'll find that we may have greater and greater numbers of children. This weekend, we passed the milestone of, are you ready for this? 100 children registered in our program this year. I think we're doing good things at Valley UU. So the first teacher I would like to come introduce herself is Sharon Hagan, please.
Good morning. I'm going to be very brief. I became a member in 2015, began teaching in 2016 after coming from the Long Beach Church. And I have had many, many, many children here. I currently teach 4th and 5th grade. I've helped in other grades and do over the summer. But overall, I just love this children's program, so here we are.
Hi, I'm Dave Merrill. I haven't had as many children as Sharon has, but I had 4. I tried, not 100. I've been here so long that when I started working with the RE program, we were back on Warner Road. So for those of you, yeah, I see some nods in the, yeah, and I had hair. Well, that may have been the kids. I don't know whether it's time or the kids. Not these kids. Well, maybe one of them. Okay. But I really like the program. I think it's been great. Obviously, that's why I keep doing it. I kind of got suckered into it in the beginning. I often, this kind of shocks people when I say it, but there are actually some good, and there are books about it, about using The Simpsons in the curriculum. And one of my favorite is Homer the Heretic, about a guy somewhat like me who got to stay home while his family all went to church until he got forced to go, and then all of a sudden was never not there. So even though you don't ever see me because I'm over there, unless you have kids, maybe you see me. But anyway, it's a great program, and next week maybe we'll have 200.
Hello, I'm Deb Chesney. I work with the high school kids. I've been here, Marcy asked me to think back, and I was like, oh my gosh. Not as long as these individuals, but since 2018 is when I started. So for me, that was like, oh man. So I've worked with kids on and off in my regular job, and I work with kids until I get tired of them, and then I switch to adults, and then I get tired of adults, and then I come back to kids. So when I got here and saw the program, I was like, this is awesome. This is what my kids need to learn. So I had to get involved with it. So thank you very much.
And this year, Deb is going to be job sharing with Dan Sapacki, but I don't think he's here today. You may know Dan. He's on the board, so he's been around for a while too. So I want to thank the middle school and high school youth who knew to come over here and support their teachers, and now we will make the Bridge of Love and sing our children out, and all the way up through high school, we're going to walk back over across to the other side.
I've I don't know about you, but it felt like kids kept coming from all over the place in here. It felt so rich and beautiful to see our full community in one space. And it gave me just this sense of deep gratitude for the adults that work with our kids and do all those special things with them. So I just want to start our time of centering with a place of gratitude for each of us who are here today, whether it's your first time or you've been here so many years you can't remember your first time, or somewhere in between if maybe you're someone who comes and goes. We're so grateful for you, and all of you, all of who you are is welcome in this space. And we create that for our kids too. Would you just take a few breaths with me? Some of our kids started their day by doing some of the rituals over here. We already have some candles lit and some water added to our fountain. Some of you may have already grabbed a stone from over here to put in your pocket or to place in the sand. You can do that anytime during the service, but this is a moment where we take some time to notice what's in our heart, whether it's something we're celebrating, something we're grieving. The news has been full of places where disaster and war are happening, where people are struggling, even in our own country, to feel safe and welcomed. And so you may be holding any piece of those things that are happening in our shared community as a concern, a sorrow, a grief, or even a fear. And you may be also holding gratitude and joy, connectedness and love. And whatever it is that you're holding this morning, I invite you, if you wish, to mark that by lighting a candle or leaving us a note in our pastoral care book, or moving a stone in sand, or adding water to the fountain. And I know for me, I gave the fountain to us a year ago as a shared ritual. That water represents each of us and all of us. Each drop matters. And also, we are all always whole together as that water moves through the fountain. It's a beautiful metaphor for who we are together. So I'm going to invite you to engage in those rituals or sit where you're at in silence or quiet. You can meditate, you can close your eyes, whatever feels right to you, and we will sing together and listen to music together as Noell and Christy lead us in a song.
We'll be singing When I Am Frightened. You can join or not.
Listen
A poem, A Prayer Against Circles by Reverend Scott Taylor. Is it possible that being on the inside of the circle leaves us out of the loop? What if the margins aren't narrow? What if that space of exclusion is also a position of prized perspective? What if being shut out allows us to understand the insiders better than they understand themselves? Why do so many seek the safety of that inner circle anyway? Don't we know that the circles not only keep others out, but also the air? Haven't we learned that it's on the edge of circles that hate makes its home? So even if we weren't among the ones who put the circle in place, by allowing it to linger, don't we carry the burden of responsibility as well? What if who we are doesn't end at the barriers of our own skin? What if sin is believing that you can put the puzzle together with only the pieces that belong to you? What if heaven is the moment you realize that none of us can get there alone? What if these all questions are a matter of life and death? After all, didn't the Nazarene say we must lose our life in order to find it? Haven't all the sages said the solitary self must perish for the larger to live? If that is true, then let's widen the circle until it breaks. For as long as the circle exists, pieces and parts of ourselves will always lie on the other side of the line. The circle will never allow the welcome we wish for. So let's push, pull, twist, and tear, dig underneath and climb over the top, do whatever it takes to meet each other face to face. And having found each other, let us stare and struggle, fight and forgive, call in and out until me and you dissolves into us. End. It is said by scientists and poets that humans are relational beings, which means that humans are meant to connect with others on an interpersonal and emotional level, and that strong, fulfilling relationships help people maintain emotional well-being. If this being relational is so critical to our existence, then why is being relational so hard and has been so fraught for the entirety of human existence? It's a big mystery to me. Why do we crave the sanctity and familiarity of a circle, yet our very beingness depends on a spiral, open and ever widening? Perhaps because while this spiral is elegant, its openness and ever widening somehow goes against our human nature and yet is ever present throughout the natural world. So I'm with Reverend Taylor. The circle will never allow the welcome we wish for. So let us push, pull, twist, and tear, dig underneath and climb over the top. Do whatever it takes to meet each other face to face. And having found each other, let us stare and struggle, fight and forgive, call in and call out until me and you dissolves into us. Blessed be.
I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you.
The Seven of Pentacles by Marge Piercy. Under a sky the color of pea soup, she is looking at her work, growing away there actively, thickly like grapevines or pole beans, as things grow in the real world, slowly enough. If you tend them properly, if you mulch, if you water, if you provide birds that eat insects a home and winter food, if the sun shines and you pick off the caterpillars, if the praying mantis comes and the ladybugs and the bees, then the plants flourish, but at their own internal clock. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot always tell by looking what is happening. More than half the tree is spread under the soil under your feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like the squash plant that overruns the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections. Create real nodes. Build real houses. Live a life you can endure. Make love that is loving. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in. A thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us, interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and lairs. Live as if you liked yourself, and it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we're going to live for a long time. Not always, for every gardener knows that after the digging and after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. Whose are we, anyway? To whom do you give your allegiance and your love, your welcome, and even your wallowing? We've been trained to believe in a very narrow idea of belonging and companionship, to ask for much less than what we actually need, and to ask for more than we can give, than we are giving. Romantic love, partnered, committed, one-on-one love, has been lifted as the ultimate love. And family, visioned as led by a couple, presumed in our larger culture to be a heterosexual couple with children, not too many, but not too few, who are, well-managed and compliant, with no extras, not in the house anyway. That has been sold as the goal. And it's supposed to be enough, and it's supposed to look so efficient and economical and independent. And if it's not, if you don't have all those things I just described, we're led to believe that there's something wrong with us and our choices. Let me be perfectly clear. There's nothing wrong with any of you if this isn't your life. Amen? Nothing wrong with you. This model doesn't meet most of our needs of intimacy and connection and love and resilience and healing and challenge and joy and growth and touch and inquiry and perspective. We need so many more deep, committed, reflective, active relationships in our lives than a partner or the so-called nuclear family, if you even have those. And many of us don't. We need the kinds of relationships that regularly save us, that make room for us, all of us, that forgive us and hold us accountable and remind us and catch us and negotiate with us and question us and answer us and live with us. Now, in my life, chosen family members have been roommates and next-door neighbors, godmothers and friends, partners and co-workers, animals, and even special places. As a young adult, my partner and I moved to a new town so I could finish my last 2 years of college. And when I started classes, I met the same young woman over and over in several of my classes. And eventually, our last class was at night, and she offered me and my bike a ride home. And as we negotiated the directions to my apartment, we found that we lived not only in the same apartment complex, we lived in the same building, just on different sides. She lived upstairs, we lived downstairs. She lived next to the parking lot, we lived next to the grass. And we quickly became close friends, her roommate, my partner, and the two of us. And even our cat seemed to understand that we were chosen family, wandering from one apartment to the other, one bed to the other, one bowl of food to the other. Sometimes we would call each other and check, is the cat at your house? We fixed meals together, we traveled together, we took classes together, we threw parties together. And eventually her roommate fell in love and drifted away and left college. And the cat, my partner, and my friend found a new place to live together, and life carried on much the same. We moved into a duplex and made friends with the people on the other side. And on our block, we knew several households and had friends in many of them, sharing meals and conversations throughout the week. Later, when my partner and I got married, I can honestly say we lost something valuable. We moved into an apartment with just the two of us, and we saw the cat. And I was immediately lonely. I found ways to connect with friends, meeting up for dinners, going for a run together, movies and other shared recreation. But working full-time meant fewer available hours for friendship outside of the person that I came home to. And several years passed. We did the things. We bought a house, we had a baby, and my world got even smaller. We lived in a house far from family members in a neighborhood where we knew pretty much no one. Thankfully, some friends who hadn't yet had kids, but liked our baby, came to us. And we would pass the baby around or watch her learn to walk from one person to the next. And after she went to bed, we'd share a meal or music and conversation. I felt such a deep longing for relationship and connection. And later, when I finally ended that relationship with that partner, I simultaneously found rich new connections and friendship that held me with such love and commitment. I had a friend that would get up to go for a run with me early in the morning, nearly every day, whose listening and perspective were invaluable. I had a couple of friends that came over after the baby went to sleep and stayed up talking and laughing and listening with me. I had a friend I could call when I needed to go to the grocery alone. Parents, you know what I'm talking about? You're like, damn, I just need to go to the grocery by myself. I could drop the little one off for a visit with her Tio, and then I would come back and we would all eat a meal or go to the park and just play. And I had a friend who became a kind of nanny and auntie, bringing the little one home at the end of preschool and keeping her entertained until my workday was over. We shared a car, and we passed that sweet girl back and forth over and over. She grew up knowing places that I didn't even know, like the inside of the salon and what her aunties would talk about for hours while waiting for their braids to be tightly woven. She would come home with some swagger and sass, and I would know that she had been loved and accepted as chosen family, even where I might not have been. At some point, though, there was no way to be a single mom living in a big city without more help and, frankly, less driving. So we moved to the town my mom and my kid's dad lived in, just an hour away. I had to commute to work, but suddenly my kid was in a school where she knew kids from the UU congregation, where no freeways were involved in going to and fro. I know Phoenix, it's possible. And where there was always someone who could pick her up if I had to work late, and always someone who could fix a meal or a snack for her. Now, mostly that was my mom, but there were other moms and dads and aunties and friends. And I had some commuter friends, too, people who rode the bus with me every morning, who were content to read next to me or sleep or talk, depending on the day and what was in the news. I dated a couple of people, unsuccessfully, searching for that balance of someone who could parent with me and be a partner, a real partner, someone I wanted to talk to at the end of the day, and who wanted to be in my life, not be my life. I did eventually find that person when I met John. And it didn't work with him because he was the perfect person. It worked because he understood my life, what it meant to be in my life, not be my life. It worked because he liked cooking for my mom and having friends over. He even reminded me to make time for important relationships. And it made a difference that we'd met in the context of a shared congregation, a shared commitment to that congregation. We understood that we didn't just belong to each other. We belonged to a wider context, and we owed something of ourselves to that wider context. When I decided to pursue ministry, we moved again, and had to start over in creating that context and finding aunties and friends that would help us nurture ourselves and our growing family. Now, in seminary, we were blessed by the love and care of a woman I often refer to as my UU godmother. She and her family took us in. They made a place for us at the table and brought the abundance of their lives to us. Our oldest, who was now no longer a baby, but actually in elementary school, went to her house after school and was fed so many good things. Fresh vegetables from the garden, homemade blueberry and banana muffins, cheese and crackers. And when I was weary, which was frequent, Mama Colleen always had time for a front porch chat or a kitchen conversation. She was a keen and is a keen listener, a thoughtful responder, and an avid questioner. Nothing gets by Mama Colleen. When our youngest was in the hospital, she was a second home for the oldest. And when we were overwhelmed, she offered her care and even some help cleaning. Now, we were also blessed by two families who also had kids the age of our kids, but who also couldn't afford childcare. So we arranged our classes and our work schedules around each other, ensuring our kids always had playmates and caring adults present. We passed clothes and sippy cups and diapers and strollers and lunch boxes and snacks back and forth. And sometimes we were all together, kids and adults, conversations and play and meals all mixed together. Y'all, we all had messy houses. All of us. We didn't care. We were all worried about getting our bills paid. But we had each other. And we all had more than just a partner and our own kids. Now, we also had single friends with kids and friends who didn't have kids who loved us and made room for us, both individually and as a family. But the real key has been that we have leaned into deeper relationships and made space for all of what life was bringing. Breakups and mess-ups, moves and career changes. Some of these friendships have ended or faded. Some have deepened. Some have gone on hiatus and then reappeared. And some have just changed as we changed. Now, some carried more water because there was capacity to hold more, and some were never asked to hold what surely they could have. Over and over again, we have moved and had to recreate community, even as we stayed in touch with or missed desperately the family that we had left behind. In Colorado, we were lucky to have actual aunts and uncles and grandparents available at hand for a year when both of us were commuting in opposite directions, and our sixth grader and preschooler needed adults who could pick them up and feed them. And in Kansas, we ended up living on a block where we eventually knew and loved most of our neighbors, and even some folks on the adjoining blocks. We opened our home to our kids' friends and to people who didn't have a home. Some of us were single, some of us were partnered, some of us were folks with kids, some of us had pets, some of us were related to each other, and some were not. But we were all family, or like I like to say, framily. Friends plus family. Chosen family. Now I live in a household with 3 generations, and it's a blessing to have my mom live with us, to have a third adult to help fix meals and talk to at the end of the day. And we're once again rebuilding a community where we have friends and chosen family, people we can count on when things get complicated or life gets heavy. Some of our chosen family now live in other places, and we're no longer able to share meals or rides or coffee dates. But we're still available for conversations and visits. Here's what I keep learning. We need each other. We need each other, and it doesn't have to fit the mold that our culture has sold us. Love doesn't have to look like married or related or best friend forever. Love doesn't have to share all of our pastimes or have kids the same age as ours. Love and commitment are things we can choose to share with people whose values and presence make our lives richer and more textured. And we can choose to lean in a little more closely, too. We can choose to share our needs and be prepared to meet the needs of others. It's not easy. It is vulnerable, y'all. It is possible and even inevitable that someone will disappoint you or do something that hurts you. You will misunderstand or fail and possibly fail to show up when you need them. It's also possible that you will be the one that forgets an important anniversary or bumps into an unhealed wound or loses track of time and drifts away. And when this happens, well, you pick up the phone, you send a card, you write a poem, or you make some cookies. You ask for forgiveness and you hope for a second chance. You pay attention and show up with intention. You reach out and you keep reaching out. Brené Brown warns us that belonging and fitting in are actually opposites. Fitting in is about assessing a situation and becoming who you need to be accepted. Belonging, on the other hand, doesn't require us to change who we are. It requires us to be who we are. When we try to fit in, we leave a part of ourselves behind in order to blend and match the people or group we want to be in. True belonging invites our whole selves to come through the door and into the living room. Our messy, complicated selves. When we create a community where belonging is possible and fitting in isn't the goal, we have arrived at a redemptive place that meets our longing with our open arms and sustenance for the soul. Now, each of you has people in your life that make it richer. Yes? Each of you does. And each of you has people in your life that you could offer more of yourself to. That's an invitation. Each of you has people in your life who are ready to offer deeper friendship and love and connection, but maybe they're waiting for you to reach out and make room, or to signal that you're willing to figure it out. Finding love isn't about finding a partner. It's about making a life where partnership is in many different relationships, and our commitment to tending those relationships is that of a passionate and consistent gardener. In this congregation, we have the opportunity to meet people that we can do this gardening with, to meet people who might be the aunties and tios and added family you've been needing and even longing for. The structure of this congregation allows us to be these things with each other, even when we may not already know each other or share things outside of these walls. It allows us to care for each other and to share with each other. This is a place where we can practice gardening, where we can practice the nurturing and the mending of relationships, where we can offer ourselves and receive from others as well. It will sometimes feel uncomfortable to ask for what you need or to offer an apology, to share what's in your heart and to show up when it's not easy. You may be tempted to turn the love and connection you experience into a kind of armor to shield yourself from the rest of the world. I found my 5 people, I'm good. The rest of y'all, you know? Don't do it. Don't do it. Let your love be an permeable circle, a spiral that is open and growing, an invitation that brings new friends and new family, new belonging for them and for you. Everything you may long for is waiting for you to decide, for you to show up and open the door. So here is a blessing for you and for this shared work of choosing family and creating community. From John O'Donohue. Blessed be the longing that brought you here and quickens your soul with wonder. May you have the courage to listen to the voice of desire that disturbs you when you have settled for something safe. May you have the wisdom to enter generously into your own unease, to discover the new direction your longing wants you to take. May the forms of your belonging in love, creativity, and friendship be equal to the grandeur of the call of your soul. May the ones you long for you. May your dreams gradually reveal the destination of your desire. May a secret providence guide your thought and nurture your feeling. May your mind inhabit your life with the sureness with which your body inhabits the world. May your heart never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage. May your heart never be haunted by ghost structures of old damage. May you come to accept your longing as divine urgency, and may you know the urgency with which God longs for you. Blessed be. Welcome.
I will be your standing stone. I will stand by you. I will be your standing stone. I will stand by
Our offertory words are by Kimberly Quinn Johnson. Fitted for this day. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We're not perfect, but we are perfectly fitted for this day. We're not without fault, but we can be honest to face our past as we chart a new future. We are the ones we have been waiting for. May we be bold and courageous to chart that new future. May we have faith in a future that is not known. We are the ones we have been waiting for. The ushers will now pass the plates. Thank you for your generosity.
We are moving in wide circles. We are opening our circles. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. Oh, be a compass. I'll be your lighthouse. Speak your words of triumph, and I will watch your mouth. I'll march with you, my sister, to your place of healing. We will dive into those waters, swim into the clearing. We'll always keep our heads up. We'll always sing along. We'll walk the path of kindness, know where we belong. I'll march with you, my brother, to the mountain top. We'll hold back the dynamite, make the rumble stop. Make the rumble stop. Oh, be a pillar. I'll be your mockingbird. We'll sing the rock of ages. Yes, we will be heard. Let's form a great salvation through harmony and sound. We'll know the shape of progress, like nature's always round. Like nature's always round. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. We are moving in wider circles. We are opening our circle. We are moving in wider circle. We are opening our circle. We are opening our circle. We are opening our circle.
Beyond borders. Go forth, because we are always going forth from somewhere. Going from our homes, our childhoods, from our cities and countries. Going from innocence to experience to enlightenment. Going into mystery and questions. Going into the desert, getting to the other side. Go forth. Leave the comfort and community of one place. Head into the anxiety and loneliness of another. Carry with you the love and laughter of this place and let it light your way. Carry with you the wisdom you learned and the good memories. May they give you strength for your journey. And when you have been away long enough, far enough, done what you said you'd set off to do, been there so long that that place too starts to feel like home, come back. Come back to the one universal everywhere and every when and every one inclusive home. This beloved community of all creation that you can never really leave. Won't you stand and join us in our closing hymn?
We'll sing We Shall Be Known. Maybe we'll be known for how friendly we are, how we widen our circles.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round and tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change, alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time to lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall
Please join me in saying our extinguishing the chalice words. Though we kindle this flame, our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again.
But stay for treats and conversation, and if you're new and want to chat with us in the Welcome Circle, we'd love to meet you. We have folks outside, I think with the immigration group talking, and we were going to have a post-service presentation from Partners in Education, but we've had a couple folks who are not feeling as well and in the hospital, so we're going to put that off and do it another time when they're up for the task, and we'll let you know when that is. So, have a great week, everyone.